Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and this is my June book haul part 2. Not as quite as many books as last time, luckily. There's only 9 or 10. I guess there's 10. But I thought I better wrap it up and get everything done, and to show what I bought this month. I did get a couple of books that I had pre-ordered, a couple of books that I got from Book Depository, my first order from them, and I was pretty happy with those. And then I actually went to Goodwill because I've watched a couple of people go thrift store shopping, and I should not have done that. But I bought a couple books that I'm actually kind of glad I got there. So, yeah, anyway. So, and I think one's a pre-order that, again, I'll talk about that when I get there. So, anyway, so just to go through, I bought Ursula Le Guin's The Left-Handed Darkness. I just read The Dispossessed for the second time two months ago or last month. I had to do it for my book club, and as I said, it was one of those books that I read and I do not remember reading in college. I read it. I know I did because I hated it, and I've always told everybody I hated it. But the second time I read it, I kind of got it. So I don't know if that was an age thing or because I was in college, it didn't retain they were trying to get what they were trying to do. But anyway, I've always wanted to read The Left-Handed Darkness because I know a lot of people who do like it, and I think it's a classic that I should read. So this is something I want to read, and I just finally picked up a copy of it. I also bought A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. That's book 3 in the Shades of Magic trilogy, I think it is. I've read book 1. I'm gonna read book 2 here pretty soon, I think. But I got number 3, and I admit I bought it from Book Depository because it's a paperback. Again, my hate of or my dislike of hardbacks, I've told you, and I'll probably say it again in a little bit once I explain another one. But the point is that I wanted it because I figure I'm gonna binge read them. Pretty soon, the second and third, and I wanted the third here because I hear the second has a cliffhanger. So, I guess I'm not sure how many people. I think everybody knows what this series is. If not, it's it's a fantasy with different Londons and a magician who can go between the worlds, and he's one of only a select few who can. And chaos ensues when things from one London come to another. And so I don't know what happens in the next books, but again, number 3, I have no idea because I haven't read number 2, but I wouldn't spoil it anyway. But the first book was really fun ride, so looking forward to that. I got the new and improved Rami Futch, I think, by Julia Elliott. I have heard up and down things, or good and bad things about this, but I'm just so intrigued by the cover, first of all. I admit, I'm not a cover buy, but I like the idea of him turning, and I guess it turns into some kind of monster because some kind of genetics change or something, and I just want to see what happens. It just seemed kind of funny, and I thought it'd be kind of different. So I don't know a whole lot about it, and I've actually not seen any full reviews on this. I've just seen little yay or nay and a couple of DNFs, but I want to try it anyway, and I got it for a pretty good price, so yeah, we'll see what happens. I got David Hares' The Mage's Blood, the first, I think the first book in the Moontide Quartet. I don't know a whole lot about this. I saw it on Kitty G's channel, so I'll link her down below. I bought this on a whim, and again, it's a good chunk, and I know it's a I know a lot of people, I think more UK people know about this one than here in the US. I had never heard of him, and I'm a huge fantasy fan, so I was willing to try it. I don't know, it says if you love Game of Thrones, you will want to read this. Personally, I was not a huge Game of Thrones fan. I read the first book and got stuck in the second and stopped, but that was just my my opinion on that. But I was intrigued enough to pick this up. I don't know anything about it. This is pretty much going to be a blind read. When I jump into this, I'm just going to go for it. And as I said, there's like 4 books, so I'll have to get the other ones probably from the UK as well, since I can't find them here. I've tried. I also got V.E. Schwab's Vicious, I've been wanting to get this for, well, probably when it came out, I saw it here, and I've never picked it up, and I don't know why, I just never did. It was one of those ones that was always on the list of I wanted to pick it up, but I just, my cart got too full, or when I was at, as I said, I live really close to Pals, so I would go by Pals and look at it and go, oh, I want it, and then I'd pick something else instead and go, oh, I'll get that next time. So, I saw this on the book depository, had a really cool cover, so I got that one instead. And again, that's about two roommates or something who figure out ways to make people into superheroes, and then it's a fallout from that, and they go their separate ways, and so they're both not good, and maybe both are not all bad. I don't know, so I'm kind of curious on how that goes. And I also bought The Clay Girl by Heather Tucker. If you've seen any of my other videos, especially my mid-June wrap-up, I said I picked this up on a whim after seeing it on Mercy's Bookish Musings, and her review on it, and I saw a lot of other people picking it up, so I'd gotten it from the library, and I was convinced to read it by the author herself, so that was pretty cool, because you saw that I'd said something about it. Anyway, but the point is that I read it, and I loved it, as I said, so I got my own, I had to get my own copy, because I'm going to definitely reread this at some point, and I guess there is going to be a second book with the same character, going on from this point to a little bit later in her life, so I'm excited. I gotta make sure I'm on whatever list I need to get that, but this is awesome, and so I got my own copy, because I just needed it in my possession, or so I can, loan it out or something. So then I got a couple of, so those are the new books I got. The one pre-order I got since the last one was The Witchwood Crown by Tad Williams. I've seen any other videos, you know that this is the book I was waiting for all year. This is it. Ever since I heard it announced, this is the book I wanted. And so I got the hardback. Again, as I said, I'm not a huge hardback fan, but it's Tad Williams. I have all his other hardbacks. He'll go with the collection. They all don't match. I mean, it doesn't matter to me, as long as I have them. And I'm enjoying reading that. Anyway, so I got that. And then I got a couple, as I said, I went to Goodwill and got a couple books, because somebody on here was talking about it. Peter Loves Books. I'll link him down below. And so I thought, I'll just go to my local Goodwill and just check it out. And I probably shouldn't do that. I already have enough books. But I got lucky on some of the classics and another book that I wanted. So this is pretty cool. So I got Elizabeth Gaskell's North and South. I've been hearing about this on a lot of the channels that read a lot of classics. Now, again, I was an English major, so I've read a lot. But in the years since, I've read a couple every year, but I have not read enough. And I kind of want to get back into where I'm reading more classics to kind of fulfill those areas that I didn't get in college. And I do enjoy classics here and there. It's interesting to read about other periods and other mindsets and what was important to them. And as I said, I've heard a lot about Elizabeth Gaskell just recently. I did not know anything about her, so I picked up North and South, but I also found Wives and Daughters. So I don't know much about anything except for either of these two, except that I think there's a BBC miniseries or something for the North and South. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that once I read it. And then Wives and Daughters, I think, is uncompleted, like she didn't finish it before her death or something, so I'm not sure. It's huge, and I have no idea how that's going to end up. So, anyway, but I've heard that this is really good, so I'm kind of excited to try a new author from this time period. I'm not sure, actually, to be perfectly honest. I can't remember if she's a contemporary of the Brontes or Austen, or, looks like these are 1850s. So, okay, well, as I said, I wasn't quite sure, and I don't know a lot about her, so I'm interested to check that out. Anyway, so I got those at, Goodwill, and they were a pretty good price, actually. And then I picked up a copy of The Martian by Andy Weir. I read this book a couple years ago. Again, I got it from the library. I didn't have my own copy, and I love the movie, too, but the book was just, I can see why it was really popular. It was just a fun ride. And again, I'm able to suspend my disbelief on a couple of the points, but I think it's really good because it does throw all this science in there, even though maybe not all of it's correct, but it's still pretty cool. So, anyway, I wanted my own copy of that because I wanted to reread that the other day, and I was like, I don't have it. And anyway, so those are all the books that I bought in the second half of June, or got. So, not a huge haul, but also not small. So, well, it's how it goes. Anyway, I'll enjoy them all at some point. So, and again, some of them I've already read or I'm reading, so that's pretty cool. So, anyway, if you've read any of these books and liked them, let me know, or just leave a message. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.